And we're live. Sorry about that. I had some technical difficulties for about 5 minutes. The other 20 minutes was me being slow and not quite there, right? So, title of the stream. Well, obviously, we're going to talk very briefly about the Dear White People shit because that's popular, because it's stupid. And so now I got the chat up, and we're basically good to go. So I'm gonna talk about that stupid dear white people shit because it's stupid, and everyone, talk to the internet the last couple days. But more importantly, what I really want to talk about is Islamification, and a lot of it have how it relates to Canada. So of course we got a wonderful thumbnail of basically how that all that shit gets described. But you know, yeah. Let's just go to the dear white people shit for now. So I'm starting to learn this OP. I don't know, whatever the hell you call it, this live streaming shit. So okay, dear white people. It's a dumb movie. It's dumb. It's dumb. Like, yeah, 35. Sorry, not 35. 345,000 dislikes at the time of this recording. 41,000 likes. So I think the like to dislike ratio, the like ratio went up compared to the dislike ratio. But when it was back at like 130,000 or 100,000 or something like that, but it's now at like 3 million views. It's yeah, people have shit on this stuff. So let's go over it really quick. Basically the whole vibe you get it from. If you really want to this is based off of a movie, obviously, right? And so apparently, there is. I'm not gonna watch the movie. I'm not gonna even fucking bother. I don't care. This is the dumbest thing ever. Um, not in terms of the controversy, as if it's a controversy. It's more so of like, I don't know, blown. I just don't care about it. I just don't care about it. It's one of those things where it's like, yes, it's stupid. Go fuck yourself. This is dumb. It's fucking dumb. I don't know why they're doing it. It's trash. It's crap. But I really can't be fucked to spend my time with this crap. Apparently, people like Philip DeFranco made his video, and it's not as bad as it thinks, guys. The movie, it's not really that bad. And apparently, Andy Worski, he made his video, and he's like, dude, did you even watch the movie? Did you watch it to the end? And apparently, in the end of the movie, they basically have the attitude of the quote unquote rational black people who don't engage in all the fucking nonsense and breaking shit. They become they pick a side, and they start smashing shit, which is what pissed them off about it, because in this current climate, that's what people do is racism exists there for smash shit. So what I wanted to kind of point out about this really stupid thing is the portrayal. The portrayal. She is, basement dweller, and I don't even know what the fuck. Like, why do you have 50-year-old equipment? That's like is really portraying the whole. Let's pull this up. It's really portraying the whole idea of you know uh, you know the voice type thing. You know what I mean? The voice. Let's pull it up. Um, Go Black Radio Studio in, let's go 1970. So it's really trying to portray kind of the whole. I don't know. This is not what I'm looking for, but I'll go ghetto talk radio. Yeah, I'm not getting the images I want, but you know how there is kind of maybe if I go 60s. Yeah, fuck, I'm not getting the images I want, but basically, you know how back in the day when there was the whole like race relations. Let's try Black Panther radio. Maybe that'll work. It's a little bit. I don't think it's particularly accurate to what they would have been, but 60s. Yeah, I'm not getting what I need. But basically, this was the time of the 60s, back in the day when it was kind of, there was a lot of this kind of what do you call it? Strong opposition right after the civil rights thing had gone through. There was a very strong, because obviously there was still the divisive crap left over, because, oh, what the hell? We don't have anything showing. God damn it. I just looked at the stream. I just realized I was not screen sharing. I am a noob. Okay. Wait, that's desktop capture. That's not what I want. What the hell? Why? Oh, okay. I don't know what happened. Okay, we're gonna go to desktop capture because something screwed up with that. I don't know if I had it before working. I did have it. Well, I know I had it before working before, but I don't know if it was working while the stream was going on and it just kind of crapped out. But anyways, so I should probably explain this before. So you can see kind of like the whole black radio type thing, talking head, camo shirt, you know, you know, lone voice in a room with old ass equipment from like 1950. You know, we don't use tape machines anymore, and so you can kind of tell it's like this whole let's go radio station 1960. Like you can tell, like there's this old ass equipment and shit like that. Like, I should probably do talk radio. But yeah, this is obviously not like kind of like the ghetto shit that I'm talking about, but you kind of get the point. Like there's all these dumb like this old ass equipment and shit like that, right? And so that's what they're kind of trying to play on as the whole I think like they're trying to kind of romanticize that whole old school vibe, if you want to call it that. That whole when the civil rights were happening, and people were right after civil rights, people were not like what do you call it? Just because the civil rights was passed doesn't mean the Klan was defeated. You know what I mean? Like there was still racism going on, and there was still people kind of still trying to kind of get forward. And so then obviously there was the whole black radio talk stations that were like the voice of reason, blah blah, blah, and, stuff like that. And they were like, I don't know, going off on like weed shit and stuff like that, right? And so it really feels like this is exactly what they're trying to portray. The whole like black power radio type thing. I don't really know what else to call it, but basically that, like, a voice of reason. So the problem is yeah, they're trying to play it up as, you know, they're romanticizing a time that no longer exists. It's been 40 years, guys. It's been 40 years, guys. You are no longer the rebel radio. You're no longer the rebels, okay? The progressives, you're not the rebel radio. You are not the rebel media. You know who is the rebel media? Rebel media. That's who's the rebel media. The rebel media. Wow, look at that. I know. Say what you will about this shit, but Gavin McInnes' excitement, he's an old punk rocker, and he's now flipped to basically the right. Because, yeah. Basically what they're saying is conservatism is the new counterculture because the schools are invested with SJWs, politics is invested with SJWs, except for now Donald Trump, and basically the new Le Pen, some of the conservative movements in Canada. You know, you are not fighting the power anymore, guys. You are not fighting the power. You're not. It's done. It's over. The civil rights era is done. Just saying. And it's the characterization of this is really whack. Apparently, they portray everyone in the school as going up as blackface, and I don't know. Apparently, this is really just like, it sounds like the description of the movie that I heard from Andy Worski was basically like, he described it as like an SJW movie, because there was a whole bunch of SJW crap that was being said, and it's like, okay, fine, have that perspective, but the problem is it results in the proper way to act is violent and crazy. It's not about, hey, oh, wow, we can, golly gee, we can reason with white people, and they can stop being blackface. Even though this is a school in 2016, this doesn't exist. This doesn't exist. Everyone knows that. We've talked enough about that. It's bullshit. Who cares? It's fucking dumb. It's fucking dumb. I guess there was also the Milo riots. That happened. Milo riots. I got an actual video basically on that, more so that happened this week. People have kind of forgot about it now because Dear Black People is the rage of the internet right now. But yeah, Milo riots, I have an actual video on that. I basically worked on it all week because I'm really bad at putting out videos. I'm going to try better. And yeah, it had like a 4-hour encoding time, and then memory crash, and we have to start from scratch. So didn't have time to upload that today. Probably upload it tomorrow, but yeah, that's going to be my address there with Milo riots. So now let's move on to Islamification after 14 minutes of ranting about this stupid Dear White People shit. So Islamification, this is important shit. So where are we going to go? So recently we had teenage girls sexually assaulted, with apparently the assaultee charged 6 accounts of sexual assault, right? The problem is it's not just a man in Canada. It's a Syrian refugee. And the CBC has wiped this from the record now because tolerance and diversity. Diversity is a strength, guys. Diversity is a strength. Remember that. When we put people of different cultures together and they interact, they just grow stronger. There's never any tension whatsoever when you speak two separate languages. There's never tension when you know you have a family of not of I don't know Chinese speakers next to English speakers or French speakers or whatever the fuck speakers. The two languages they totally can communicate 10 times better. There's this thing called the language of tongues. They speak the same language when they have two different cultural customs. Their interactions go really smoothly. They everything makes sense to them. Yeah, you know where I'm going with this, but yeah, and they have wiped clean from the record of him being a Syrian refugee. The man arrested is not a NASA member. Oh, what? So the water park was booked for basically a private event, and it wasn't like super private. So yeah, the refugee could sneak in basically. The association bought tickets and sold them at the cost of their members. It was just an event to get our members out of the house and into the park and some socialization and media in the middle of winter. It was a NASA director that did this, apparently. At least some of the victims are related to the members of the organization. So it was, friends and family from NASA, I guess. But this is not like the NASA. This is Non-Academic Staff Association, University of Alberta. So it's not Nautical Astronomy Space Association. I believe that's what it is. Whatever the fuck. I might have botched that. Who cares? These things can happen. It's a public part. Yeah. These things happen when you let in people from alien cultures that think, oh, well, it's haram to not be covered up, so uncovered meat, fair game. That's literally what they think. I'm sorry, but this is the value system that we're talking about here. These things, so that's his name. I'm not even gonna bother. Soljuman Haji Soljuman. Soljuman is a refugee. Why is that not in the headline? It's not just a man. You replace man with the word refugee. Because that's what people really want to know here. This is politically charged. You're a newspaper. You're supposed to be politically charged because that's the way the news is. It's all about boom headline. You basically buried key information that people want to know about. People want to know if these refugees are safe. That's been the debate. Will these refugees be safe? Will they integrate? Blah blah blah. Right? Anyways, let's move on more to Islamification in Canada. Stuff like this. This is just really messed up stuff. Now I noticed this video. Oops. Let's move on here. So I noticed this video, and in this video, essentially, this is a really interesting story here.
Could I suggest that we are going to take...
So this is in the P School District School Board, where essentially they have decided, they passed some sort of legislation where they were like, hey, and this is old. This is January 13th, 2017, so it's not weekly relevant, but I've noticed it just now. because these things the mainstream media just doesn't report on, right? Now this is essentially some sort of legislation where I think basically Islamic religious teachers, I don't think it was necessarily imams, but maybe just people with mosques would come in to educate the kids about Islam and the religion of peace, obviously, right? So this woman is not happy about it, and we're gonna hear some things about it.
Stop speaking because I can't hear what the speaker is saying the majority of the time.
I'm trying, but I think we will try to. Asking, we will take a 10-minute recess.
Why are you alive then? Why are you alive?
So this woman, you can clearly see that she has a thick accent. She can speak the Arabic words in the accent. So obviously she's from an Arabic country. And well, her story is she's a former Muslim woman whose family tried to honor kill her and escaped from Saudi Arabia to Canada. Is now warning Canadians about the, well, as he puts it, evil is Islam. That's facetious at best, of course, but she has a lot of videos on her, just a lot of, she does a lot of videos, vlogging, things like that, and it's basically, I feel like it's almost like I really don't want to say it like that, but she's very active in her activism around Canada. She has a lot of different things like this. So anyways, long story short, they do end up evacuating her because she is causing a disturbance, right? But of course, the thing is like, I don't know if she was ever given a chance to speak. That's the thing. It'd be nice to see like them, like it's one thing to be like, hey, I'm gonna show up to this hearing and be like, I'm gonna speak my mind and whatnot, right? And then there's a difference in, give my point of view and say, like, this is bad. We stop this. And then there's another thing like, right, we're just going to pass this and no discussion, right? So I can understand why she would go in there and just be shouting and just speaking on her term, because if you don't get a chance at the mic, you basically have to shout for your what you're saying. If you're not going to given a chance at the mic before they pass whatever legislation they're passing, right? It's a hearing, not, and so yeah, she gets kicked out of the thing, and she's just not happy with this. It's emotional to her because, as we know, getting killed because of honor or attempted murder because of honor is probably a traumatic experience. I'm just going to assume that because it kind of makes sense. Now, let's move on to kind of the mosque that was attacked. I don't think it was last week. It was a couple weeks ago. It was, I believe, almost two. Yeah, I believe it was last week. And so, in that one, getting some more facts. Apparently, we have found out that the Islamic, I believe it's called, what is it? Quebec Islamic Center or something like that, Islamic Cultural Center or whatever. That Islamic Quebec Islamic Cultural Center was in fact founded by the Muslim Brotherhood, which we know the Muslim Brotherhood. I'm sorry, but they are fucking terrorists. Senator Ted Cruz is pushing legislation in the U.S. to label them a terrorist organization because there is so much about them that is fucking terroristy. So this mosque was in fact funded to build the mosque itself by the Islamic Brotherhood, and has donated to, I believe, the Islamic Relief Center, or what is it? That Islamic charity? It's Islamic Worldwide Relief, which has been found to funnel money from things like charities, like for example, Pakistani flood victims to ISIS and other terrorist organizations. We do know this about the Islamic Relief, World Islamic Relief. Where is that? Which reference is that here? I believe it's in this reference where it goes through. There's a lot of reading in here, but it goes through different Islamic charities that do in fact, including the Muslim Brotherhood. I think. I don't know if it's directly or if it's through the Muslim Brotherhood, and I think the Muslim Brotherhood, from what I understand of the kind of network, I don't think it's like 100% rigid, but it's definitely, I believe, the Muslim Brotherhood is the one that the Saudis funnel the money through the Muslim Brotherhood, which then they do the construction of mosques and whatnot, and Saudi-funded mosques, technically speaking, and then so the Muslim Brotherhood finds ways to essentially spread Islam through the West, right? And so then they do these things like funding mosques, and then those mosques participate in certain charities, which then funnel the money to terrorists. So it's like it's kind of a very that's generally how the structure works. If we're gonna explain that, I'll probably do another. I really definitely need to do a more detailed video on this stuff because it's really important stuff, guys. It's really important stuff. So let's. So essentially, yeah. The mosque that was shot up, and the attack or whatever, right? Do we know if it's politically motivated? Not yet. Not yet. We don't know that. In fact, if it was politically motivated, I feel like I don't know. Why does a random kid do this? You know what I mean? There's just so many weird fucking things with this. It's just I would more expect a Nazi to shoot it up because of political motives. Maybe he's off his rocker. I don't fucking know. But either way, I can't wait for this trial because this is something I'm gonna pay attention to. I really want to hear what the hell is going on. A bunch of reports and sound bites and a few facts here and there. Just don't tell the full story. We need actual accounts of what was his reason why he did it. I would like to at least hear that, because that's kind of useful. I mean, I don't know. I'm not essentially saying that. What is it? This is a. Oh my God! This is a globalist hoax to fuck us all over. I'm not saying that because I have no idea. I am more in the agnostic state, and I'm pissed off that everyone keeps labeling this like, "Oh, wow, we found bigots! We found bigots! Wow! We found all the Islamophobes!" And on that point of Islamophobe, that's a dumb made-up word. And I recently found out, in searching, Islamophobia is a made-up word by the Muslim Brotherhood, apparently. Yes, the Islamic Brotherhood, like, these people are not here to just, you might think, this is just conspiratorial. Well, these people do prey on our culture and how to essentially spread Islam through our weaknesses in our culture. Let's do it up right now. I forgot to do it up, but dirty Kufar. This music video, the whole. We'll turn it down because we don't really need to.
Then cheer. Big things. Yeah, man, throw them under the fire. Yeah, one upon them, more fire, more fire, more fire. We're gonna put the heat on them, I say. We're gonna put the paper on them, I say. When we say no, we what? No name, but tell you for this Bolivar. But we have to call them dirty cover. Them no respect the Almighty One. Don't know the yellow mago bon. No name, but tell you for this Bolivar.
So I think we've seen enough of that. Yeah, that's... They use things like rap and hip-hop culture to make these stupid-ass videos. Like, this is way back in, like, the fucking, Fallujah days, basically. Like, Bang Daddy Fallujah days. 2004 shit, right? So... Their propaganda is very geared... Is it not just geared towards, people in their country? It's geared towards thug and the poor, essentially poor men, poor Westerners, and young poor men that are essentially just lost. They're like, the fuck do I do? The society's shitting on me. The America was never great and stuff like that. And then they hear this shit and they start getting radicalized with this crap. That's the goal here, right? And so Islamophobia is just another one of those things, because they understand that they study our culture and use it against us, whereas we just kind of do dumb shit like have Dick Cheney steal all the oil for Dick Cheney and fuck the war on terror. It's the Dick Cheney war for money and shit like that, I don't want to go, ooh, Dick Cheney, but I mean, like, let's be honest here. They couldn't give a crap about winning the war on terror. They couldn't give a shit about it. What we know is it's not just a war against terrorists. It's an ideological war. It's an ideological war. And anyways, they frankly do not give a crap about this stuff. They don't give a crap about winning, but the terrorists, they give a crap about winning, and they're doing it because they're actually using tactics that work, infiltrating our young youth who want to go out and riot. Well, instead of go out and riot, join ISIS. We'll give you an AK-47, a bunch of C4, and you can blow yourself up. That sounds great. Sarcastic, obviously. So back to the word Islamophobia. Islamophobia is a dumb, made-up word, apparently. I recently learned this. Now, when we go through it, here's the point you got to deeply... Essentially, Robert Spencer has written, and this is Jihad Watch. I think Robert Spencer is the big guy on Jihad Watch. I'm not sure. I think it's his site. But anyways, I've maintained for years the term Islamophobia was a politically manipulative coinage designed to silence critics of Islamic supremacism. Now, Claire Binsky explains how Islamic supremacists devise it for precisely that purpose. So I think this is in the book. Well, no, that's Robert Spencer's book, but whatever. So now here's a point you might deeply consider. The neologism Islamophobia did not simply emerge basically out of general words. Like, for example, when we invented the word homophobia, that was the general, it was the coining of phobia and being, and homosexuality, right? Like, it was actual coining. Whereas Islamophobia apparently is a little bit more of a push term. It was invented deliberately by a Muslim Brotherhood front organization, the International Institute for Islamic Thought, which is based in Northern Virginia. If that name dimly rings a bell, it should. I've mentioned it before. It's particularly important because it was co-founded by Anwar Ibrahim, the hero of modern Islam, who is now trotting around the globe. So that's not, I don't know who Anwar Ibrahim is, but let's look it up. I should actually do that. See, like I said, I should do these things a little bit better. That's not the right Anwar Ibrahim, I don't think. Because that guy's up in the party with Malaysia. Sodomy trials. Maybe that's it. I don't know. No, this guy's about a guy in Malaysia. So I don't know. I think I'm just gonna get all these Muslims. They all have the same fucking names. That's the problem. I mean, then again, John Smith, right? I don't know. Either way, all it takes is one more famous guy, more famouser guy than you to have the same name, and shit gets fucked up in your Google search results. But anyways, this guy, a former member of the IIT, triple IT, which is, I believe, International Islamic Institute for Islamic Thought. So he used to be a member who has renounced the group and discussed, was an eyewitness to the creation of the word, this loathsome term, he said, is nothing more than a thought terminating cliche conceived in the bowels of Muslim think tanks for the purpose of beating down critics. So I actually picked on that citation. That citation is right here. I pulled it up. It's actually a really ghetto-looking website. Old school as fuck, boys. September 5th, 2010. This is written directly by him, which this is an image of this guy, so he's a real person, guys. You know what I mean? Like, some people will just run off in denial. It's insane. But, so basically explains, that's the reason where the question of whether Islamophobia, America is Islamophobic, now blah, 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 blah. Muslims are everywhere in this country, do practically everything. There's Muslims, blah, blah, blah. So Islamophobia is just stupid. There are Muslim soldiers and CIA agents. Could this be possible if America were Islamophobic? Like, how is America a white supremacist, racist country if they had a black president for 8 years? It's the same argument. It's pretty, you know what I mean? It's just, it's people don't think things through. They just like to cry oppression. Anyway, so he's going to explain this cry for oppression. Muslims have approximately 2,000 mosques, blah, 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 and surveys have shown, blah, blah, blah. Given all this, how did the narrative of oppression and so-called Islamophobia take root so strongly among American Muslims? It began when Muslims began coming to this country in large numbers in the mid-1960s after the civil rights legislation opened the borders to Muslim countries. Now, like all new arrivals, they sought to find their footing in new land and locate allies. To that end, they immediately developed a close relationship with African American Muslim leadership, some of whom had earlier come through the Black Muslim movement. They saw great advantage in attaching themselves to the movement's cultural icons, including personalities like Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X. So, right. The term Muslim American was created to put to use in order to radicalize Muslims. Indeed, where are the Buddhist Americans or the Hindu Americans? There may be Jewish Americans, but this term is used more rarely. So, anyways, this term gave many different groups of Muslim, Arabs, Pakistanis, Bosnians, etc., a common race around which to bond. That's kind of important here. So the whole point is like basically manufactured this complex of, hey, we're all Muslims, we're not our nationality, or where our ancestry is or our lineage it comes from, right? And so this sense of victimization has now reached a point, especially given a consent of rhetoric of groups like the Council of American Islamic Relations. I'm not sure what that link is, so you can click it if you want. that may rank and file Muslims now genuinely believe that they are persecuted and oppressed group, right? So definitely, the whole point of it was essentially we're all Muslim and we're in this fight together against oppression. And so the thing is he doesn't explicitly say that the point of it was, it was Islamophobia was literally, made up, like its origin in terms of where it originated from was this group funded by the Muslim Brotherhood, so to speak. I believe it's, what is it, IIIT? I believe that's the group, or whatever the fuck. I don't even know which group it is, but essentially what he explains is that there was an actual tactical approach to throwing Muslims into their, an oppressed identity, and so therefore the term Islamophobia, it doesn't even matter if it's Muslim hate, if that was the term, or Muslim phobia or whatever the fuck, right? It doesn't matter if that was the term or not, but it's the fact that they were not systemically, but you know what I mean? They were literally trying to play up this kind of victim narrative, oh, we're the oppressed Muslims, oh, give us money, give us donations, oh, shit like that, right? Where they play that narrative up. And so anyways, that's essentially what he's trying to describe here, from what I understand of this article. I think we've kind of gone through all of the Islamification stuff. Well, that was quick. If you didn't know, there was also a sex attack, water park attack in Lethbridge. I believe, yeah. Oh. That's not the right one. Oh, maybe it's sex attack. Yeah, it's. This is just a video, and I can't play that video. This is the one that I really want. Anyways, in a hotel pool. Yeah, there was another douchebag, which was woman and two girls reported inappropriate touching. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's just I feel like if there's any women out there listening and shit like this goes down, obviously, I feel like women need to kind of go back to the more of the harder approach, get your fucking hands off me, you filthy fucking pig, you know what I mean, I do believe there's a lot of the women out there like that, and they probably were, saying, take off, you filthy pig, but maybe he just didn't stop. And that's where it comes into, I'm sorry, but the men coming into White Knight for these guys and punch the cocksucker in the face. I don't care if he's a fucking Syrian refugee. Punch him in the fucking face. Stop it. Just get him to stop. Now, I don't know if they basically just and walked over. I've been groped by call the police. Police save me. And nobody stood up for this person, or if it was just the pool was empty, which generally speaking they don't tend to be. They're public pools, or whatever. But if I saw that, I would go up to the guy and start punching him in the face. I would probably try to I don't know, maybe in the heat of moment I might attempt to drown the fucker. That. Just being how I am with this whole bullshit. I'm getting sick of this crap in the news. I don't know. I don't want to be like a giant violent thug, But it's just like, I would be mad. I would be mad as hell, guys. I would be mad as hell, and I'd be like, not in my fucking backyard, not in my country. That's what I would be like, you know what I mean? And I would just knowing where this is all gone with the whole thing, like with Europe, I would just flat out be like, ooh, I don't know. Anyways, this happened because you might not have heard about it because it's nothing to see here, guys. April 17th, 2016. I wasn't even aware of this fucking thing, even though this should be fucking national news, because anytime a woman is a victim, it's national news, except for when fucking refugees do it, right? Of course, it doesn't even mention that this was a refugee. However, this article, I believe, was written before he was in fact caught. But yeah. It's filthy shit. It's filthy shit. Anyways, to go back to this, this thumbnail, I think, really displays Islamification in a nutshell. And that is, well, obviously we have fucking Merkel over there, but this is that terrible fucking map over here of just this isn't just crime. This is every blip is migrant crime. And this is from 2016. I don't know when this was taken, but I do know the map basically looked like this only, I think, 3 months after reporting. Like, after they started collecting data in 2016. Like, by the summer, the map looked really fucked up like this. I'm just saying. And yeah, like, little known fact, this is Iran in 1970. This is Afghanistan in 1969. They weren't in fucking hijab, burqa, whatever the fuck. Islam sucks, guys. Just let's be frank here. And it's not like it's one of those things like, ooh, Islam is on the rise and so country and it's secular. I'm holding 2 thumbs up, guys. I'm holding 2 thumbs up, but in a sarcastic fashion. No, it's more like, bitch, put on the hijab now, or we'll fucking beat the shit out of you, or you're fair game. You're just a piece of meat. We'll rape the fuck out of you. I mean, when it gets to certain, like, we do know that when there seems to be a relation when Muslim populations grow to a certain point, the radical elements really start being emboldened. Below 2%, Muslims usually either keep to themselves or or are engaged with the population enough that they're essentially become liberal Muslims, right? When they have the opportunity to build enclaves powered by groups like the Muslim Brotherhood, like pressured and pushed into those things, like groups like the Muslim Brotherhood, you then get, in like things like 4%, 7%. Toronto's at 7.7%, by the way. I believe France, the whole country itself, is at 14%. We already know how much fucking problems they're having. Areas of Britain, like when you get into specific areas of communities and stuff like that, you're looking at like 40-30%. Like, and when it gets to that, Sharia patrols in those communities, man. Like, they do not give a fuck. The police are afraid of them. They have their own gangsters that rival the police. You know what I mean? Like, and it's insane shit, guys. It's insane shit. And the biggest thing is because of this made-up term, the made-up victimization of Muslims, right? Of the whole Islamophobia, basically hoax, if you want to call it that. Is there genuine cases of Islamophobia where there's just irrational fear of Muslims? Sure, potentially. But is there cases of discrimination that's unfortunately unfair? Yeah, I'd say that's more common than the rational fear, because those who fear Muslims and Islam are generally educated on the topic, and they're like, yeah, I'm not happy with this shit because terrorism, because it's Islamification, Sharia law, shit like that, right? Like, that's not an irrational fear. That's built on concrete things, obviously, right? We kind of, that's been pushed out on the internet, I think, enough that we kind of understand that, right? So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so what I'm trying to say there is, it's just, obviously there's certain cases where I'm like, I look at a Muslim and I just kind of look with, I might discriminate a little bit, because I'm like, why the fuck are you worshipping that book? And I don't even know if that's like unfair discrimination to some extent. It's like when I see, like, I'll take personal examples. I live in a fairly white area. Like, I don't live in like a very heavy multicultural area, and so, but I do notice, even just with like the very minute amount of Muslims, like, for example, to compare and contrast, people from West Africa, completely different culture, not the same. They speak English, thick accents, stuff like that, right? But when you engage with them, when you talk with them, when you hold the door open for them, they're genuinely like, oh, thank you, you know what I mean? Or like, they can, they're a coworker, and then you strike up conversations, and you engage with them, and they're happy and excited. And even like Chinese people, what is it? Whenever you go to their restaurant or their business, and they're always like, just thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, there's certain things with certain cultures where it's just like, they actually have, like, they're happy. They have a desire to engage with the population. I don't care if, like, you worship Year the Dragon or whatever the fuck that is, and it's like, that's not a really big issue to me. Okay, that's an alt-right issue. That's the white genocide boys. That's for the white genocide boys. Okay, I don't care about ethno-states and shit like that. And everyone's got to have the exact same culture. Like, it's fine if people are ethnically different, and they have some variation with culture, where they eat different foods, or they celebrate different things, or they have different heritage. I don't care about that, as long as we can come together and we're Canadians first. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I give a shit about, right? That's what I give a shit about. But then when you have certain, so you have interactions with those people, and it's fine. It's happy. They're not like they're genuinely like, thank you. And actually, generally, it's more like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you for coming. Like, but either way, like there's just a general vibe of community, and like a collective. I don't want to say like collective, because collectivism sucks, right? Individuality, but I mean there's an atmosphere of positivity, even with people of different cultures, even like first generation immigrants. You know what I mean? That have not fully embraced with the culture, yet they go out and they buy a Canada toque because they're like, wow, this place is great, I love being here, and they just, they try to, obviously they make an effort to be Canadian, right? And so then you have Muslims, and I've noticed this especially with, I've met a few different of them. I've met an older Muslim man who has been obviously been in a Muslim country for 40 years, and when he talks about, like, for example, you fully well know that this guy has different views, right? And so, like, when people, like, I remember the office was basically full of women, right? And so they, like, basically they asked him on his views on women, and he's like, well, you're not gonna like the answer I have. Basically, like I don't think, I don't want to press my views onto the workplace here. I'm just, you asked me for my opinion, and I'm not, like, and he basically just said, like, I'm pretty sure this is exact quote, basically, or as close as it gets, according to my memory. Canadian, they have their own view of women. That's fine. Me, I have a different view of women, and that's what I think. You know what I mean? Like, it was like him explaining that, like, yeah, and then he's like, and like, you asked for it. You asked for my opinion, and you're not gonna like it. And I, to some extent, respected his honesty, because the reality is, I'm not trying to say, like, oh, I respected his views. No, I didn't respect his views. I respected that he was honest, because if he was just like, oh, Canada, oh, good, like, if he was saying something like that, I'd be like, okay, come on, let's be reasonable here. You've grown up under an Islamic theocracy for 40 years of your life, and you've only been here for like 2 months. Bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I would have. So the fact that he didn't, BS, and the fact that he kind of, I don't know, try to explain himself in a reasonable way. Okay, like, I'm trying to be somewhat fair, but at the same time, I'm like, I was thinking in my head, well, he's gonna change. He's gonna change, But when you talk about Islamification, he's gonna change if we promote, like, if he's not in a cultural enclave, which, being that he's in a fairly white area, I don't think he is gonna, because he's not on the street of Toronto, yelling about, preaching is like hardcore hardline Islam. He's more like, like, this is what I've always believed, and I'm not really sure about this whole liberalism thing. You know what I mean? But I'm here, whatever, right? And so to me, it's kind of like, maybe there's hope to assimilation when you're at a certain point, but when they can, like, and I think there's a difference when, like, it's like 20% Chinese immigrants or 20% Hindu immigrants or something like that. They're not going to, like, really bunch up in a cultural enclave and just shut the world out. Unlike Islam, Islam seems to really shut the world out when they have enough to form an enclave, so to speak. And that's really what it's about, because it's in their Quran. There's Buddhism doesn't have a worldwide conquest ideology. If you want to talk about Christianity, how does Christianity spread the word of God? Well, they do it by saying, promote, preach, blah, blah, blah. And if they don't accept what you're saying, then so be it, because you can't force them. Hashtag peace, hashtag Jesus was a monk, right? Like, there's a fundamental difference between Islam will conquer the earth, blah blah blah. Quran 4:6. What the fuck? I'm not a scholar on this shit. I really should have true citations, if you want to call it that, but I'm not a brilliant scholar on this shit. So when it comes to things like this, I don't know. I black out. I suck at it. But you know what I'm saying? It's like certain things like that. Like when I go to the store and I hold a door open for a Muslim woman, it's not even just like, oh, we're silently walking through the store and you just don't say, "Hi, my name is so and so. Hi, hi, hi." Like that's what 5-year-olds do. Obviously, you just respectfully, walk through, the store and just kind of do whatever, right? Do your own thing. But when like you hold a door open, like usually like, oh, smile, thank you, you're welcome type thing, and you move on with your day. It's a very short interaction. And it's something that is culturally what Canada does, right? It's a culturally Canadian thing, apparently, holding a door open. And so when you do that for, especially I find with the opposite sex in Islam, they hate that interaction. They frankly do not want that interaction. They want to not associate with you, especially opposite sex. And when you understand the Quran, you know why, because it's essentially men and women are not supposed to engage with each other whatsoever in public, only in private, only if they're in your family and if they're your spouse. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. One bit. That's fundamentally no. To me, that's just alien. No. I don't like that. I don't like holding a door open for somebody, and then them basically being like, basically, like if you didn't know any better, you would be like, what the fuck is their problem? That's what you would come across as. It comes across as like, wow, what the fuck? Who pissed in your Cheerios today? But what it really is it's this idea of men and women don't engage with each other whatsoever in public. Because, like, and to say that I don't like that, like, is that a problem to say I don't like shit like that? Like, I don't like when people don't, like, when we can't have some sort of sense of cohesion and community. Can I be angry that like, not angry, but upset that is happening, that there's people in society that act like that? Like, there's a difference when, like, obviously there is somebody who's just genuinely pissed and somebody's like maybe just an angry person and they're just have always been an angry person, they're an angry drunk or whatever the fuck, right? And they're just like, fuck everybody, and they're just a negative piece of shit, right? There's a difference when it's that, and when it's like Muslims and they're doing it because of Islam. There's a difference. And I don't know. I don't like it. And why am I trying to justify that I like a cohesive and positive society and an environment? Why am I trying to justify that? I don't think that's really needs much justification. It's pretty straightforward, is it not? Either way, should probably move on to one last thing we should probably mention is Quebec Mosque update. So this is now Islamic Relief Canada is ready to answer the call by we need your donations, even though we have funneled money we have lied about our charitable beliefs before, like our charity drives before with Pakistani flood victims. We have lied before. What we want What we want is you know, please, but you know, of course, this time's different. This time we're totally not going to give this money to terrorists. We're going to help the mosque that was hit because, you know, victim complex, Islamophobia, you feel guilty, terrible tragedy. Give us money. This is fucking horseshit. I'm sorry, but you have a terrible fucking track record, Islamic Relief. Islamic Relief is one of the worst fucking charities I've ever seen. If you want to go through their fucking track record, just look up Islamic Relief terrorism money funneling or something like that. It's fucking awful. Just, ugh. And you know, and one other thing that I really want to show that's fucking disgusting is if we look, oh, would you look at that? Draped in Algerian flags. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? They are Muslim first. They are Muslim first. They are not Canadians. I'm sorry. That might be offensive. That might you might hate what I have to say, but that is not Canadian. That's sickening. That's a joke. People want to. The media parades around that 6 Canadians, 6 peaceful worshiping Canadians were. No. Cut the Canadian out, because clearly somebody thought that they wouldn't have liked a Canadian flag. They would have liked an Algerian flag. That's the flag on their casket that they would have wanted. Maybe that person is fucking retarded, and they don't know anything about the person that was killed. But this is a fucking joke. This is a fucking joke. And whoa, you're getting outraged, bro. It's just a nationality. Oh, all we have is our nationality. That's the whole argument I make to the alt-right and the white, the ethno-state guys every day. Is we all bleed Canadian. Nationality transcends race and ethnicity. We're either a nation of one nationality, or we're not a fucking nation at all. Okay? We're warring nations. We're warring tribes. Okay? This is bullshit. They want to parade this all over the fucking CBC as if these are poor innocent Canadians that we're praying, as if we're supposed to feel bad that these poor Canadians were sent. I'm sorry, if they don't adhere to the nationality of Canadian, then they're not Canadian. Fuck them. If they literally don't, like, they put their other, like, their opposing nationality, their immigrant nationality over Canadian, then fuck it. Fuck it, man. I'm sorry. Like, maybe they came here a month ago. Maybe that's the case. And I'd be like, okay. But then again, they were never Canadian. They were never Canadian. It's the fucking media, man. You know, if they genuinely were, like, fresh immigrants, then fine. Then fine. Fuck it. But it's the fact that the media plays this up, this sob story that it's, oh, poor Canadians, poor Canadians. Where the fuck, how is this Canadian? This is not Canadian. No. This is, where? How? Just, oh. And I really feel like this tragedy is being played up like a Trojan horse. I'm sorry. This is my feelings. This is me kind of, I guess, not really venting, but this is me like where I feel that this isn't just me like going offline like, "Ooh, I'm a heartless bastard." Ugh. Like, I don't want this to happen. No. But I'm saying my mind. I'm speaking my mind out here. I'm saying what I think here. And what I think is something's fucking whack here. Cuz they're making this big tragedy up about, oh, Islamophobia. Oh, poor Muslims. Ooh. Like, really? The first fucking time an extremist kills Muslims that wasn't another Muslim. And we all bend backwards over this shit. Are you fucking kidding me? I genuinely feel like this is some, like, I don't mean to get off on a rant and just go ape shit. I don't mean to be like, oh, he's angry. Oh, you mad, bro? Like, I'm just trying to like show some emphasis on, I feel like this is a Trojan horse, because this should not be a justification for more tolerance, more refugees, blah blah blah. This should be a reference for like, okay, violence not good. That's it. That end of story, end of discussion. No fees. I don't give a fuck. We don't need a candlelight vigil. Like, this is literally like this is bigger than Union Square. This stupid candle vigil, and everyone going, all these cucks. I'm not kidding. This is cucks. So saying like, look, stop Islamophobia. Like, stop. I think discrimination to Islamophobia. Like, really, guys, really. This is nuts. Where the fuck do these people get a giant fucking funeral for this crap? Everyone's treating them like they're fucking national martyrs, or national heroes, and they don't even subscribe to our nationality. This feels like Merkel levels of rejecting a German flag. That's what this feels. This feels like ultimate forms of cuckery. Of just lack of national pride. This feels like, and more so to a sinister view of this, is when Trudeau goes, diversity. He just keeps shouting diversity like it's a fucking argument. And it feels more so like this is justification to accept more Islamification. Like, this is like some sort of Trojan horse event where it's like, oh, we can't criticize Islam. And I'm not kidding, because I'm not just like, you're just theorizing, bro. You're just theorizing, bro. It's like, no. I'm not just theorizing, okay? Where's that? CBC. I don't know. I don't even know what it's called, but right here, 2 days ago. This filthy bitch. I'm sorry. I'm not. But I mean, like, this is slimy. Probably has nice intentions, but I don't. The fuck do I know? Because there's so much corruption and crap with Muslim Brotherhood and people going back and forth between these Islamic charities and what is it? IMC or whatever the fuck it is, Islamic Center Canada or whatever the fuck it is. Just people going back and forth. With this crap, my dog's shaking me because he's like, ooh, you're freaking out. I know. But Liberal MPs is anti-Islamophobia motion set for debate next week. Some critics worry Motion 103 could chill free speech and ultimately lead to blasphemy laws. That's what I feel like this is going to be. Can't criticize Islam because we had that one shooting last time. Trojan horse to infringe on our freedoms. That's what I feel like this shit is really resulting in. Yes, I condemn it. Yes, it's fucking terrible. Was it right-wing Christian extreme? The fuck do I know? I haven't heard him talk in court. The fuck do you know? But yet you want to go off on that tangent. Nobody even knows if he's fucking Christian. We just know that he liked Donald Trump pages and debated in Laval. That's all we know. Fuck. Members of Parliament will debate a motion to condemn Islamophobia that track incidents of hate crime against Muslims in the House of Commons next week. Fuck that. Fuck that. I'm sorry, when fucking you can go around and make tampon Jesus art. No, everything goes. Everything goes. There should be no religious hate speech, even though I don't even fucking view Islam as a religion. To some people it is. To some people it is, to be fair. It's merely a religion and nothing more to some people. But overall, generally speaking, they use it as an ideology. It genuinely is. And it's opposed, if you look at Sharia and Jihad in its purest forms, fundamentalist forms, it's literally, it's not compatible with our laws. It's just not. Motion 103 was tabled by Mississauga, Ontario Liberal backbenner Regular Club figure last fall, but it will be discussed in the aftermath of last month's shooting at Quebec City Mosque. Basically, it's been pushed to the front of the pile. Now that this fucking horseshit has happened, it calls on the government to condemn Islamophobia and all forms of systemic racism and religious discrimination. That's really specific. Thank you very much. What's Islamophobic? That's another question. What's Islamophobic? Is it die sand niggers? Okay, fine. I might be able to actually accept that. Is it Islamophobic to say, actually, Muhammad was a pedophile? Is that Islamophobic? Because I know that would piss a lot of Muslims off, but I'm sorry, it's the truth. It's a fact. It's what some would call a hate fact, meaning it's true, but it's offensive because I'm sorry, but you don't know enough about your religion to... Sorry, but know that you probably shouldn't follow Muhammad because he was a fucking terrorist. Muhammad, terrorism be upon him. I say that now when I'm debating Muslims after a while, when they just fucking go off the rails, I just be like, I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but you're not gonna like this, but Muhammad was a terrorism. Was terrorist. And I just don't give a fuck anymore. I don't even try to really red pill them because they don't give a fuck. And if you do red pill them, there's probably a greater chance that you're gonna radicalize them. You should probably and then but you can't be a complete hateful asshole and be like, ooh, fuck you, sand niggers, fuck you, you backwards. I just say, whenever they say, oh, America was never great, they bomb Muslims, they're real terrorists, and I just say, no, you got it wrong, you're full of shit, fuck off. You're wrong, ISIS is real terrorists, fuck off. That's what I do. But I mean, that might be hate speech. The text of motion also asks the government to recognize the need to quell the increasing public climate of hate and fear. What the hell does that mean? What the hell does that mean? Scream. This. I'm gonna. Let's zoom in. If you can't read it because you're fucking blind. Recognize the need to quell the increasing public climate of hate and fear. What? you can control our thoughts. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm pulling the outrage button here, but this kind of sounds a little bit Orwellian. You know, thought crime alert. I mean, explain to me how this isn't the beginning of a thought crime style law. Come on, guys. What is hateful? What is fear? Honestly, I like. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You gonna legislate that we can't be in fear? That we must. You're gonna arrest us when you're. What are you gonna do? You're gonna find our significant other when we were scared while getting. When a terrorist runs around a shopping center with an AK-47, riddles our, and we run with fear, but we get riddled our body, and then, so what are you gonna do? You're gonna find our significant other? I know that's ridiculous, but seriously, people are in fear for legitimate reasons to some extent. Address the source of the fear. Ooh, I fear that this dam will break and it will flood our whole village and we'll be fucked. Okay, so let's fix the dam so it doesn't break. Not let's legislate that your fear is irrational. Fuck me. Request the Heritage Committee to study how the government could develop a government-wide approach to reducing or eliminating systemic racism, religious extremism. Doesn't exist. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting this. This is infuriating. This is a social justice in our fucking parliament, which we know. God damn it! Like the liberals, they literally just. Here's another crazy law that the liberals just fucking passed. Was they passed a tax on health benefits. I'm not kidding. So because your public health care does not cover everything. It's not free health care 100%. It covers some basics. It covers the basics, okay? So you still have to pay out of pocket for a lot of things. So therefore health insurance is still necessary in Canada. And so then they decided that, from what I understand of what they just literally approved, was that you will have to pay taxes when you claim benefits on your health benefits. What the fuck is that? You have to pay taxes to the government when you claim a benefit on your health. What the fuck? They're the party of free health care. Why the hell would they do that? Like, the liberals whine about fucking health care all the time, and yet they pass a dumbass. What type of tax is that? God, I want to punch them all in the fucking face. I just want to go up to the Parliament Hill and be like, you know what, fuck, one-on-one me, bros. You know, you guys are fucking atrocious. You're fucking terrible. Oh my god. You know, seriously, the laws they're passing are just retarded. They don't even make any fucking sense. It's not even like, oh, I'm ideologically opposed to you. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? What the, like Justin Trudeau is just fucking eating glue. All him and all his fucking liberal majority is just eating glue on the Hill, doing dumb shit and taking selfies and saying Canada has no identity. So when it comes to this shit, I'm just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? I know this is gonna get through because they passed the most retarded tax ever. So the idea that this isn't gonna go through, pretty unlikely. Very unlikely. The Liberals have the majority. They can push this through easily. This is nuts, guys. This is nuts. Collect data to consensualize hate crime reports, to conduct needs assessments for impacted communities, and present findings within 240 calendar. Jesus Christ. Like, I haven't read this yet, so this is why I'm initially like, what the fuck, outrage canon, right? But it's like, I'm sorry. So basically, NSA for hate crime, for thought crime, political thought crime, right? And then allocate assessments to fix thought crime in communities. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. Like, I don't... And this is making me want to speak out more against this whole, Islamophobia, Islam thing, even on my public Facebook profile, because this needs to fucking stop, guys. This is absurd. This is going way too far. The fact that this is even being discussed is disgusting. I know I'm pushing the outrage meter. I know I'm pushing the outrage meter, guys. I know you probably didn't want to watch me rant on angrily for an hour and a half about Islamophobia, but this shit needs to be talked about in this country, and this shooting was a Trojan horse, without a doubt. This is where it's going. This is where it's going. The writing is kind of on the wall. I'm sorry, guys, but you can see where this Islamophobia crusade is going. Where this shooting is a justification to take away our rights to criticize Islam. Even though that mosque was funneling money to terrorists, proven through the charities they were donating to. Oh, fuck. And if you censor the truth, like, some people be like, oh, well, Canada's gonna get cucked, and they're gonna become Islamified, and they're gonna become, like, it's just gonna turn into a whole 1984 Orwellian, like, they're gonna lose all the control, they're gonna be fucked. No. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Not where I come from. Not over my dead body. Okay? I will speak my truth, because that is the responsibility of a citizen. That's not a right. That's a responsibility, actually. I'm starting to realize these days. Because hundreds of thousands of dead bodies and buried in France of our countrymen did not die for us to self-censor. They died not for just for your freedom of self-expression and your freedom of speech. They died for the responsibility for you to speak how you think, because words can't hurt. And yet they can be part of the solution. The solution is Islam sucks, and it needs to fucking get the fuck out. It needs to chill the fuck out. It needs to calm the fuck down. It needs to be not promoted, and certainly not fucking funneling money to people that kill our current active military in our own fucking country. That's huge. That's huge. The Islamic charities thing really pisses me off. That's the biggest one that really pisses me off. First and foremost, this would never fucking fly back in the days where we weren't, where diversity was a bullshit strength. This would never fucking fly. As soon as we found out that our enemies, like, people in our country, were donating to charities that funneled money to, like, imagine this. Imagine a fucking Christian churches in Canada funneling money to the Nazis. Imagine that happening in World War II. Imagine that happening. You know how fast those churches would be demolished? You know how fast that would happen? You know how fast they'd be fucking egged and just sacked and oh, you have no idea. You have no idea. Our culture has fucking changed, but I think there's too many people out there like me that once they have cut through the bullshit, the lies, the deceit, the crap of public school and education that's just, Muslims great. Muslims are great people. Yay! Once they cut through that crap, and I'm like I said, hashtag not all Muslims. There is the liberal Muslim, and all he does is use it for faith, and he doesn't subscribe to the fundamentalist Sharia. Always have to put that disclaimer in there, otherwise you're Islamophobe, right? Always have to put that. Otherwise you're a dumb made-up word made by the Muslim Brotherhood, basically, essentially speaking.